I was hearing an argument the other day of this couple. I don't know their names. And they were arguing about how much money to spend on the wedding. He said, we don't need to spend, maybe about 20,000 on the wedding. She said she wanted to spend like 200,000 on the wedding. He said, we could take that money and invest it. She says that I deserve this. And so we argue about things like that. When you talk about a wedding, ladies fantasize about weddings since from their early childhood. Men, we're just thinking about what kind of car we're going to be able to get when we're 16. We could be able to get a job, get a girlfriend, things like that. Ladies are planning their weddings from the time they, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. They have it all written down, all planned out, and then the older they get, they learn about these things out there, these wedding planners and venues, and they want this fantasy because they've seen Cinderella and Snow White and all these fairy tale princesses have these fairy tale weddings. But they're not thinking about the fact that that wedding lasts for 30 minutes. 30 minutes, and then everybody's going. So if your father, whoever's paying for the husband, if they have it like that, that doesn't mean anything to them. That's just a drop in the bucket, or they put that away for that particular time and that's what it's for, and whatever they saved up, they're going to spend that budget on your wedding. That's all great. But if you and your spouse are paying for it and you have to live after that 30 minutes is over, those people go home. If you spent $200,000 for 30 minutes, you just flushed that money. It doesn't matter how pretty your dress is or was. It doesn't matter how many people were there, what venue was there. You're going to have that wedding for 30 minutes, and then you have the rest of your life. The tragic thing is that people plan for a wedding. They put all they got into it, especially the ladies. Men, we just basically have to show up. We just stay out of the way when you're talking about that planning stuff, because that's all for her. For us, we just have to show up. But the problem with this scenario is the fact that you're not planning at all for marriage. So who is this guy you're trying to marry? Let's say he does spend $200,000 on the wedding. Who is he? Who are you? What's your character like? What are you going to do after that? How is your relationship right now? Because if you're arguing about this right here, guess what? You're going to be arguing about money from now on. It doesn't make sense. To me, personally, it doesn't make sense to spend $200,000 on a wedding unless you're a multi-millionaire or you're a billionaire, and that's just a drop in the bucket. But if that's not you, you don't spend. You can make a wedding look gorgeous for $10,000, for $5,000. It just depends on your creativity. But if you just want to go blow money just to say I had a $200,000 wedding, then you're a problem as a wife. That means that you're not going to help me. You're going to spend all of our money, and then you're going to still expect me to make it happen and produce it no matter what's going on in the world. You have to think beyond that 30 minutes. You can have a gorgeous wedding for $20,000, and you take the rest of that money and use it towards your life, your home, your legacy, building wealth, enjoying each other, instead of, we just took $200,000 and we just spent it in 30 minutes for a 30-minute ceremony. Come on, guys, you got to think bigger than that. You got to think bigger than 30 minutes. You plan for a wedding, but you don't plan for marriage. Marriage is a lifetime. What are you going to do after that? Do you know how to be a husband? Do you know how to be a wife? Or is it all about the look? What everybody else says, how sharp everybody else is. They're going to go home. They're not going to be with you to help make your marriage work. They're not going to be with you in divorce court. They're not going to be with you when those kids have a split home or parents in a home that don't get along. Come on, guys. It's bigger than the wedding. If you're going to plan for a wedding, do way more than that to plan for your lives and futures together. Seek out a financial advisor the moment you get engaged. Get serious about your finances. Line things up. Plan out your family. Wait a minute before you have kids if you don't even have them. Come on, guys. Everything is about relationship. Build them well.